Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Hearts of Iron 4 as Germany in the new Gotterdammerung DLC, and we're going to be attempting to find the new meta. I think that I figured out the new focus tree. Please check the description box below for the starting focus tree order of Germany. Please like and subscribe if you want more news, guides, and playthroughs for Hearts of Iron 4. Let's get into it. Okay, so we have new artwork for Hitler here, and here are the starting debuffs. The MEFO bills are something that you're going to have to work around. The consumer good factory penalty is quite steep, so we're going to navigate the focus tree to try to work around that. Okay, please note that this is early access. I'm beta testing for Pardox here. I haven't found a lot of bugs yet. All right, starting off, we're going to go remilitarize the Rhineland. We will then be producing civilian factories in all the high infrastructure areas, avoiding the Reichsautobahn areas, because that's where we'll build our refineries. Okay, here's our starting production. It is much the same as old meta Germany. Please note that I changed the Panzer II to Daimler-Benz. I also applied Rheinmetall to the AA. I did not apply the MIO to production. It's just here in the top. I added a line of subs, and then we're just going to get out all the starting ships here and build destroyers and subs before war. Research will be pretty normal. Note that I'm saving a research slot so that I can juggle the research slots. I made a little army here and put von Manstein as the general. We're going to send volunteers to Ethiopia. Pretty normal stuff there. Note that you don't get starting field marshals and you don't get Guderian, but you'll get them later. Now, in terms of the special projects, you need to assign a scientist, and then the only special project that I found incredibly useful is the military engineering vehicles that will be applied to the tank template. So we're going to go ahead for that first. We'll build a spy agency. You're going to be able to do a lot with spies. You're going to be able to get a lot of spies with this DLC. So taking a look at the MEFO bills, we start with a 10% debuff to consumer good factories, and that'll go ahead and get higher at about a rate of 3% each month. So we need to slow that rate of consumer good factories factor loss, and then there'll be methods of reducing the consumer goods that I'll show you a little later. Okay, I think we're all set, so let's start the game here. The first thing that we're going to do is send 2 air wings down to Ethiopia. So we're going to start off with 2 of the 80 width tactical bombers, and I don't delete any of my Air Force because I've been having it where when we go to the Spanish Civil War, if I don't have as many air wings, I'm only able to send 1 air wing down. We're just going to be starting out producing a few infantry divisions to get ready for Anschluss. And we're going to set the operation level to high. And then these divisions that we're churning out to low equipment priority. I've made 1 large navy that will be housed at Königsberg, and the sub navy will be in Holstein. So as soon as the subs get over, we're just going to start training the subs. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's do full training on the subs. Okay, our air is up. I'm going to consolidate the rest of the air in Berlin. And then we're not going to train the air and hopefully try to conserve some fuel. Our Ethiopian volunteers have arrived. I'm going to motorize them. We'll place them on a battle plan. And then I'm going to have them battle plan so that von Manstein can get logistics wizards. And we'll have him battle plan aggressively. Okay, we're going to juggle our first research slot here. And we will apply the first level of anti-tank gun here. And we'll use Rheinmetall so that it'll research a little faster. And then with that empty research slot, we'll apply electronic mechanical engineering. So that took off around 30 days from electronic mechanical engineering. In terms of the spies, the first thing that you want to do is suicide pills. The operatives get captured less. Pause when you get remilitarization of the Rhineland, and then go down to Fuhreprinzip. Our first political power buy is going to be Hjalmar Schacht, MEFO Bill's architect. So he's going to give us negative 10% consumer goods factor and military construction as well as dockyard construction speed. Remember to continuously start recruiting more infantry divisions as you're going to need them for Anschluss. All right, we've received our first spy. We're going to put them in France. We're going to go for 3 collaboration governments on France. After suicide pills, I'm going to go passive defense. Please note that we're going to need 5 of these badges to get an extra operative slot, and that's mainly what we're going for. That and cryptology. All right, once you have 20 command power, I like to put both planes in the central region. Okay, we've picked up Fuhreprinzip. That's going to give us 50 political power and change in popularity of fascism 5%. Now, let's look at the inner circle here. So we have several choices. And Germany will now have a lot of political power sinks. So you have to be very tactical about how you do this. You could go Todt first so that you get the civilian factory construction speed of 10%. However, I would recommend Bormann because he's going to give you political power. And it's going to be very important to get a lot of political power as there will be a lot of events and decisions to choose. Now, you can look at each one of these guys. You know you're going to lose Hess. Himmler doesn't do much. So you guys could take a look at that yourself. Todt and Speer, whoever you pick first, will have a decision to automatically switch to someone else. So that's what you're going to bear in mind. And then this second badge here, whether you pick Todt or Speer, will stick. The first badge will go away. So essentially, once you get down to the second Todt badge here, for instance, you're going to keep that. Note the infrastructure construction speed of 10%, military factory construction speed, and railway construction speed are boosted there with Todt. So I'm going to choose Todt because early on, he's good with the civilian factory speed, and then we get to keep this badge right here. Speer does not start off as well early, so we're not going to go him. The strategy here will be to go Todt, and then eventually we'll get a decision to go Goering, and then Goering is going to give us extra resources, so Germany will not be resource starved, so that will help our economy more later, and then we're going to ignore Himmler because he's terrible, and we'll pick up Goebbels. Now, what Goebbels does here, if you look at some of these, it's going to give us stability, which will in turn give us more production as well as political power. But if we make it down to fund the film department early, like as we're starting war, offensive war penalty stability modifier 10%. And then if we get down to propaganda master, surrender limits are down 10% for whoever we're invading. So I think that that is quite important. Now, so far in all of my playthroughs, and there's been about 10 of them, Bormann has always gone optimize Reich service. Now, this is going to give us Reich labor service initiatives that I largely ignore, but he gets much better because you could see here all the political power sinks that he gives you. And it's quite good. And you need to conserve your political power. So that's why we go Bormann first. Eventually, he'll go total control over domestic affairs, which will grant us even more political power and research speed. This is quite important to get early. You also see the recruitable population factor. Since we're going Reichskommisseraits, we're going to be struggling in terms of our recruitable population. I'm going to show you how to get around this. So our third focus will be Bormann here. Our second political power buy is going to be Canaris, and he's going to give us negative agency upgrade time, which gives us more industry since the agency upgrades through civilian factories, as well as an operative slot. So he's quite important. And I'd like to say getting all these things immediately and on time is incredibly important. So you don't want days to go past when you make these clicks. So we've gone electronic mechanical engineering. Now leave this research slot open. we're going to juggle basic machine tools next. Okay, after Bormann, we're going to immediately pick up the 4-year plan, which will give us a civ as well as a research bonus for industry. There's a lot of debate about this. A lot of people in the multiplayer community like to wait until concentrated industry 2 or 3 to apply the research bonuses. We're going to apply them immediately so that we can boost our construction. So that might be controversial. However, boosting construction early will net you more industry later. So if you test that out, you'll see that that is true. Okay, after picking up passive defense, we're going to form the department. Note 23 days on the spy. All right, we have our first Austrian event in decision here. The federal state of Austria bans the DNSAP. So if you choose this and take the political power hit, it is essentially going to lower the requirements of Anschluss. And we're going to go into how I think the requirements of Anschluss work later. You're not going to be able to do this until 38. So with all these focuses, you're going to see that Pardox has made Germany way more historical than it used to be. So this will essentially install a German political advisor to the Austrian government. The total army fighting strength required for Anschluss will be lowered. That's what you need. And we have our second operative. After form the department, go radio interception group, and then complete cryptology on France or Poland. It doesn't really matter. We'll go France. And then we'll juggle basic machine tools here. We'll start researching radio. Okay, so they accept our political advisor. You're not going to be able to do Anschluss yet. Oh, one thing I forgot is put Rhineland down to the bottom. There's going to be a dam that we build in Rhineland that will give us construction bonuses. So just wait on building anything in Rhineland. Okay, after the 4-year plan, we'll go autarky efforts. And we're not getting that much air experience because the Italians have jammed both of the airports. Just another reason why the lower air wings are better. That's unfortunate. Okay, after picking up basic machine tools, we're going to go concentrated industry 1. After radio interception group 1, just go radio interception group 2. Okay, after autarky efforts, you're going to go institute price controls. So this is where you're going to get the decisions to lower the effects of the MEFO bills and lower the rate of the MEFO debuff. So go ahead for institute price controls next. Okay, after the second level of radio interception group, stop building your agency. We're able to prepare our first collaboration government in France. All right, we just received the first level of anti-tank, and we get a bonus to research. I believe this is from our experimental facility here. So we're going to go ahead and apply the medium tank as well as Daimler-Benz. I like to go for Rheinmetall, and we'll go the soft attack, the defense, and then we're going to go more soft attack, and then soft attack and breakthrough. All right, we've received our third spy. This means that we can just continuously get collaboration governments on Paris without rebuilding our intel network. And we have the Institute price controls. After Institute price controls, we're going to establish the Reichswerke. It's going to give us some civilian factories. It's going to increase the debuff on the MEFO bills, but we'll be able to get around that. I'll show you how. So we have price control measures here. The thing that you want to watch out for is we only have 28% consumer goods factories. So click off these decisions until you're around 5% or below. The ones that I like to go for first are launch guns before butter campaign, and that's going to give us war support. We'll also launch Arbeit und Brot campaign. So now we're down to 18% consumer good factories. And then we will collect scrap metal, and then we're just going to hold there. It looks like the war on Spain has started. We'll send volunteers. We'll send down 2 of our TAC bombers, and we're going to spread them out. And we receive the military engineering vehicle, and now we'll stop the specialized research. So at this point, I like to delete like 2 of these TAC bomber wings to make sure that the wings that are in foreign wars actually plus up a bit. At this point, I'm going to stop trade through the English Channel and through the North Sea, just preparing for the war with France. I don't want to forget that. And Ethiopia capitulates. We'll just send these 2 divisions to a port and bring our planes back. Turn them off close air support, just in case it affects fuel. Okay, after construction 1, go for construction 2 with the bonus. Our 2 Spanish volunteers have arrived. Go ahead and apply von Manstein as the general. And then you could simply just have him battle plan. Then I like to do a control B so they get to the front quicker. The MEFO bills are up to 15%, so we could choose another decision. We'll just go ahead and do import tariffs. And these decisions here gave us enough war support so that we would be able to participate in the war with Spain. So you do not need Goebbels anymore early. All right, after establish the Reichswerke, we're going to go over to Reorganize the Wehrmacht. This is going to lower our advisor costs, get us prepared for Anschluss, give us war support, and political power. After Concentrated Industry 1, go Concentrated Industry 2. These 2 Italian volunteers, keep them here. They are full divisions, and they will be returned later. As soon as we get close to war, they get returned. So don't delete them. You're going to need them for Anschluss. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring them up here to Italy. Okay, there's a lot more battles happening in the south, so we'll spread out the attack bombers again. Okay, after reorganizing the Wehrmacht, we're going to go ahead and pick up Todt. Okay, after picking up Todt, we're going to go ahead and construct the Reichsautobahn. As you can see, this is more on a historical time horizon. Previously, you get Reichsautobahn quite late, but the Reichsautobahn was being built kind of continuously. And started a little earlier, I think maybe even 1934, if I remember correctly. For Mauser, I like to go like this to start off. Soft attack first, transitioning into hard attack. And then at this point, we can go war economy. Just note that this only gives you negative 5% consumer goods factories. That's why we prioritize these decisions first, but we have plenty of political power. So we'll go up to war economy. 31 factories so far, not bad. Okay, MEFO bills are at 15% again. We'll go for implement rations. Okay, in terms of Blom and Voss, I upgrade it like this. After constructing the Reichsautobahn, we're going to build the Rur Dam. Now, the power of this is state modifiers. Max factories in state, 15%. Local available resources, 10%. And local construction speed, 15%. And this is why we opened up the slot at Rhineland, because we're going to be able to build a lot of civilian factories in Rhineland. Okay, at this point, we're going to improve relations with Spain. Our first collaboration government went off, so it gets kind of hectic at times. Just run another collaboration government. We wait till our support for Spain goes up to 20%, stop improving relations. And then we need to get back a little bit of command power and then send the attaché to Spain. That will give us a lot of army experience. Okay, after radio, we're going to go improved machine tools. We've got some other things that we could pick up in the officer corps. First, we're going to go political loyalty. Next, we're going to go naval reform. And then we're going to go centralized control for the air mission efficiency down here in Spain. You have to keep an eye on a lot of different things here. As you can see, the Spanish volunteers are no longer have a battle plan. So we're just going to put them up, move them into position, and have them continue battle planning. So if we check out our cabinet here, the inner circle, you could see that Bormann is independently completing his own focus here. And then after that, Todt will do the same. Okay, we can now go industrial liaisons, which will give us a research speed bonus. Okay, after construction 2, I no longer do construction. We're going to head back over to the anti-tank upgrade, as this will give us the medium cannon 1 and is a little cheaper than the air upgrades. Apply Rheinmetall to that. Okay, we've built the Rur Dam. Okay, now we're going to go for KDF-Wagon as well as the extra research slot. So in my testing, the fastest way to get to the extra research slot is go Rur Dam and KDF-Wagon. Otherwise, you won't have enough factories. So you need 50 civilian factories to get this badge. Heading over to construction, we now have extra slots in Rhineland and we construct there faster. Make sure to put that at the top and construct all these civilian factories in Rhineland. Okay, I do not go for another special project here. After KDF-Wagon, we go for the extra research slot. And we're going to pick up Reinhard Heydrich, which will give us another operative slot and reduce resistance growth. At this point, let's go to civilian oversight, and we'll go to the Cav Brigade for resistance suppression. We're not suppressing resistance, but I'm just preparing for fate of Czechoslovakia. And you can see that the construction here in Rhineland pops really fast. Okay, so Walther is kind of an interesting one here. If you go the negative 10% reliability, I find that all the support equipment gets wasted. So I'm going to go for the MIO research bonus first, then production resources needed, negative 15%. We'll then go for the increased production efficiency cap. Then we'll get some piercing, and then we'll go down here to get the negative 5% production. For whatever reason, I like to go field hospitals and a lot of support equipment. You're going to need a lot of support equipment for this particular build. At this point, we now get another operative. We'll go ahead and set them up in Poland. There will be no Reichskommisseraits in France. There will be one in Poland, but not all of Poland will contain a Reichskommisserait. So it's good to get collaboration governments in Poland to keep resistance low and to yield all those factories and resources from the collaboration governments. So I just heard a click, and I think that represents the fact that Todt and Bormann are completing another one of their focuses. Okay, our collaboration government on France, we've got 2 of them. Let's go for the 3rd. And this time I'm going to place these 2 operatives in France. This is going to be our last collaboration government, and I'm going to take 1 operative and put them over in Poland so that we can prepare better over there. The MEFO bills are getting out of hand again. We'll implement wage controls. Okay, after Concentrated Industry 2, we'll go rubber processing, and we'll also go the improved radio. So now there's 3 levels of radio research. Actually, there's going to be a bonus to radio. Let's go back on that, and let's go the heavy machine gun, and we'll apply Messerschmitt. Okay, at this point, we can pick up Goebbels. With our other research slot now, we have the bonus to radio, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. Denmark offers trade proposal. You can tell me in the comments below what to choose here, but I go ahead and give them the trade proposal because we're eventually going to consume Denmark. All right, we picked up Goebbels, and now we will expand the Luftwaffe. At this point, I like to further reduce our consumer goods factories. So we're going to go with the energy supply company, negative 5% consumer goods factories. The MEFO bills are up to negative 15%. So we'll exploit the Gombos trade treaty. I'm not sure if this means that we can't integrate Hungary, but we'll raise Hungary's party popularity, fascism support 0.01 with this, and we'll also be able to raise kind of their loyalty a little later. So we can improve relations later. Okay, we'll get the cipher against Poland, make it an easy Poland. Should be able to get all the ciphers. Okay, after expanding the Luftwaffe, go Aeronautical Research Institute, and our collaboration government in Poland is going to be able to be prepared. So world tension has spiked to 18%, but we're still not able to complete Anschluss, and we're not going to be able to. So don't stress over that. Okay, Bormann just completed Glorify Party rallies, which is going to give us some political power, but we can now pick up our army, our military staff advisors. We're going to get Halder a little later, but let's go for the Army Drill Expert. Division training time, negative 10%. That'll help us prepare for Anschluss. After Aeronautical Research Institute, we're going to go Dive Bombers. Okay, we just constructed the basic medium tank chassis. Now, fill this up with days because we're going to get a bonus to our airplane, and we'll apply the airplane next. As you can see, the next level of medium tank is going to be 717 days. So at this point, I'm going to upgrade this tank. We don't have the right gun yet, but we'll get it. We'll have radio too. That'll auto upgrade. So this has 90% reliability. Not bad. We're going to go ahead and put this tank into production with Daimler-Benz. We'll then take off the tactical bomber, and we're going to take the gun down to just 10. So with Daimler-Benz, we're going to go ahead and go for production efficiency cap and gain, then reliability, then speed, and then soft attack. So we'll go in that order. The standardized components is good because the resources needed goes down. So we'll go that 5th. Stick with that. So we could go with Kesselring and get a little more air XP in my experience. Like you get a lot of air XP. So we'll just go with Goering. All right, we just picked up dive bombers. Now we will develop modern maneuver warfare and we'll apply this research slot to improve small airframe. Applying Messerschmitt. Now, we have an upgrade to Junkers. Just go for the ground attack. As much ground attack as you can get. Okay, it is now August 1937, so it's time to prepare for our transition to building mills. Put them in all the high infrastructure areas, sparing the Reichsautobahn areas for synthetic refineries. Just put that in there. Okay, so this is the decision I was talking about that will go away from Fritz Todt. And we'll go to Hermann Goering next. As you can see here, we keep his badge, form the organization of Todt, and then we'll be able to go down Goering right now. With our extra research slot, we're going to go ahead for survivability studies. After develop maneuver warfare, we're going to go ahead for adopt new Panzer Doctrine. That's going to give us a host of things, but most importantly, we get Heinz Guderian and Erwin Rommel. So Henschel, we're not really going to use. You could really pick whatever you want here. Okay, one of our operatives died. I'm going to put the operative back in Denmark because we're not going to be able to, once we take out Denmark, we're not going to be able to form a Reichskommisseraits there. We can now pick up Decisive Battle Expert, Eric Rader, and that will continue our naval XP gain. At this point, I'm going to stop training the Navy. And we can also pick up some upgrades to Donitz. I meant to go Lancer there, but I accidentally clicked Silent Hunter. Oh well. I moved my planes both to the south because that's where the majority of the battles are happening. Okay, a research slot just opened up. We're going to go Concentrated Industry 3. And then we're going to pick up Instill Off-Trags Tactic. Okay, we're going to instill Off-Trags Tactics. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Let's also pick up motorization drive as well as flexible organization. And then we'll pick up night fighting for the Navy. All right, here's the decisions or the events that will allow us to Anschluss. The Fuhrer plans for expansion. So total army fighting strength is basically decreased and we can Anschluss easier. There's going to be another decision that comes up. And after the second event and decision, then we'll be able to Anschluss. Okay, we got our first collab on Poland. After instill Aufgrats Tactics, we're going to go Panzer Grenadier. As you can see, we still can't Anschluss. Okay, after the anti-tank upgrade, we'll go for Signal Company, applying the MIO. And then we're going to get an upgrade to the tank here. Radio, and then make sure that you have the medium cannon, and then put that into production. Convert from stockpile. Okay, the federal state of Austria supports Alfred Jansa's plan. So this is going to give us negative 50 political power, but the total army fighting strength required for Anschluss is lowered. And then we always divert bomber production. The MEFO bills are at 18%, not too bad. And at this point, we still cannot Anschluss. We just picked up Panzer Grenadier. Our next slot will be to Mech, whichever one opens up first. And now we can Anschluss. At this point, I'm going to pick up Heinz Guderian. Looks like we lost our battle plan in Spain. Okay, at this point, we could pick up a collaboration government on Denmark. And we have the heavy MG for the fighters. We'll go ahead and go for the mech research, applying Opel Blitz. And then we're going to create a variant of the fighter here. So we applied 8 heavy machine guns to the fighter. We'll go ahead and put that into production with Messerschmitt. So our target before war is around 30 mils on fighter. There's a few things that we can take off here. We can take off the infantry weapons, the light tank, and we are building mills. At this point, we'll save Rhineland and just try to get mills. So we'll put mill production in Rhineland after that last sieve comes out. I may have overdone it with the sieves. Tell me in the comment section below. As you can see, Kluge is now a field marshal. We also have Guderian, so I'll use my command power to upgrade these two guys. Okay, in 1938, we're at 64 civilian factories. That's the best I've done so far. So I think I'm doing something right here. Okay, we got the first level of signal company. Now let's go for armored signal company, applying the MIO. Okay, we're going to go for our third collaboration government on Poland, and we've achieved Anschluss. Next, we're going to go the Anti-Comintern Pact. So we use the Austrian gold to reduce the MEFO bill cost. So Anschluss still reduces the MEFO bill cost. We're at 13% MEFO bills, so not bad. And now our army is almost big enough so that we could go the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So you see that they've changed it from Danziger War to Molotov-Ribbentrop. And a note about Anschluss. I believe that the fighting strength in the field is all the completed divisions. So I'm not sure if you could just spam out divisions and meet the requirements of Anschluss. In a playthrough, what I did was spam out divisions, and I wasn't able to get Anschluss until I changed those divisions to being fully equipped. So I'm not sure about that, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. Now let's get 850k manpower. We could do that by maybe spamming these divisions out, and we have it. So we can go Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. At this point, what I'm going to do is add AA to all of our infantry divisions, and we'll catch up on that AA. I always squeeze Czechoslovakia, and we'll just get all of our advisors here. So it's going to be Erwin Rommel, and then we're going to go Gerd von Rundstedt and the infantry expert Schnorner. Okay, we just got survivability studies. Now let's go engines 3. So you can add 1 level of armor plates, and against the AI, this fighter will be fine. It's going to get a lot better, but this fighter is serviceable against the AI. All right, the Spanish Civil War just ended in May 38. It was a pretty good Spanish Civil War. For Messerschmitt, I just upgrade these the arrows first, and then go down the middle and the bottom. I'm not really worried about production too much. We're going to be able to kill anything in the skies with the fighter that I'm going to show you. Okay, we've gotten another spy. I'm sure that that is from Goebbels. Let's double check. I'm actually not sure why we got another spy. Let's see, we're at a total of 5. Yeah, I'm not sure why we got another spy. There must be a reason why. Oh, Anschluss gave us the 5th slotted operatives. Okay, after Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, we're going to go treaty with the USSR to get the tank research bonuses. Okay, we've got a cipher on Poland. Let's go for UK. All right, we've got our first collab on Denmark. Go ahead for another one. All right, after a treaty with the USSR, we're going to demand Sudetenland. So at this point, we have 3 collabs on Poland. We are able to Reichskommisseraits all of Eastern Europe, besides parts of Poland, which is why we did the collaboration governments. The other areas that we will not be able to get Reichskommisseraits in is going to be Sweden and Finland. So let's try to get a collaboration government on Finland first. See how that goes. All right, we just picked up Mech. Now let's pick up the next medium tank, applying Daimler-Benz. We should get that about wartime. We need to put Mech into production. I put 2 levels that lower the production cost. Okay, we'll apply Opel Blitz and then try to get out as much Mech as possible. All right, I almost forgot to promote von Munstein, but he is going to be our field marshal over the infantry. So we're going to lower the production cost of Opel Blitz. All right, we also just picked up Armored Signal Company. Let's go ahead for advanced machine tools. Now, with the Armored Signal Company, you're going to get this vehicle right here. And I think this is a bug, but if you apply an MIO, it creates a totally different vehicle. And what's interesting here is it's already upgraded as well. So we're just going to stick with this version. Henschel is applied to the production line, but not the individual production of this tank. As I said before, I'm not sure what's going on there. We could take tank production down just to put a few mils on this, but this is going to be incredibly important to churn out. It makes the tanks like super tanks, basically. So at this point, we don't need the old fighters, and we need production. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the old fighters, keep the close air support, and then we could sell the old fighters on the international marketplace. You could have done this a bit earlier. So sell all of them at the max cost. Okay, we get Sudetenland at this point, then go first Vienna award, get a lot of civs and industry from that, and that'll curve out our production somewhat. So we can change our Panzer Division template, hit duplicate, then we're going to apply all the medium tanks and mech. So what we're going to do here is go for combat with 30, and since we have motorization drive, this template costs nothing. We'll also put in support anti-air as well as armored signal company. And you can see the host of bonuses that you get from the armored signal company. It's quite good. All right, we'll go fate of Czechoslovakia. All right, Goering has almost completed his focus tree here. And you can see that this focus, his third focus, is going to grant you production efficiency, cap, growth, base. It's quite good. And then you have the excavation technology research speed bonus and the industrial research speed bonus. So he is good to pick up. And that's why I haven't gotten any levels of excavation, because he gives us the research bonus. Okay, after concentrated industry 3, let's go ahead and pick up improved rubber processing. We can now set up our first collaboration government in Finland. We can go ahead and recognize Bulgarian claims. This should all be a Reichskommisserait eventually. And that's the part that I'm not quite sure how to get to, but we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll get our third collaboration government in Denmark, and we'll pick up excavation technology. So I think this is also above a bug. As you could see, engines 3 is not yet completed, yet I can apply them to the fighter, and we'll build out kind of the meta fighter here. So this is going to be our meta fighter. That should burn down anything in the skies. Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to convert Guderian's armored core here into our medium tank division to see kind of what I need in terms of equipment. As you can see, they retain some of their experience, so that's why I'm doing that. And it actually looks like we have enough tank and enough of this support vehicle. It's more mech that's the problem. We just picked up fate of Czechoslovakia. So what seems to happen is if you're able to get someone in the Axis or puppet them, you tend to be able to Reichskommisserates them. So I'm going to go historical and set up Slovakia as a puppet state. Now, at this point, we still have a little time before war. There's going to be some other things that we could pick up here. We'll reassert Eastern claims first, because that's going to give us 2 civilian factories. At this point, we're going to pick up coal liquefaction. That'll help the refineries come out. Oh, we only got 1 civilian factory on Mamel. I should have gone coal liquefaction first. Okay, we got coal liquefaction. Now we'll establish the Buna. What I want to show you here is the fact that you have to research 1 level of oil processing to subsidize Hosh benzene. That'll give you more synthetic oil. It'll buff the MEFO bills factories, but it will give you 1 synthetic refinery. So you're going to need that eventually to work down to autarky achieved. So we'll establish the Bunawerk. After Excav 2, we're just going to go for oil processing. Don't worry, there'll be further bonuses to get the rubber technology. All right, we have the improved medium tank chassis. We're going to go for improved anti-tank upgrade 2 with this research slot, applying Rheinmetall. After we pump out these factories, we're going to go for infrastructure. Okay, we've established the Bunawerk. We'll go ahead for the advanced rubber processing, and then we're going to start picking up our infantry equipment. Okay, here's our finalized medium tank. We'll put that into production. Let's get some more factories on that. And it looks like we have enough mech for 4 armored divisions. Let's train up another 2 armored divisions, see if we can pump that out. Okay, it's May 1939. Let's go Panzer Troops School so that we could get the bonuses to land doctrine. The MEFO bills are getting quite hot right now, but we're going to be able to pay for those after we get some gold reserves from Conquest. So we'll prepare another collab in Finland. I'm not sure if that's going to work out or not. We'll see how it goes. All right, we have the Panzer Troop Schools. Now we'll go to Danzig or War. And as you can see, our inner circle members are almost down to the bottom. Our target here is loyalty to the Fuhrer, and that's going to give us a host of bonuses. But the political power will be good. We have 658 political power. Don't worry, you're going to be using it. At this point, we need to buff all of our doctrine. So it looks like we could get up to a Schwerpunkt on mobile warfare doctrine. In terms of naval doctrine, just go trade interdiction left side down to floating fortress, and then go down the right side. Air doctrine, we're looking for ground support here, so we can get down to air support mission efficiency there. We eventually need to get to the point where we have enough mills to get out some CAS and naval bombers. Unfortunately, we're not at that point yet. We'll start setting up a collaboration government in Sweden. Okay, we picked up oil processing. Now let's go for field hospitals. All right, at this point, I'm building up all the infrastructure into France and the Low Countries. All the infrastructure through to Poland is up to a rail level of 3. So as you can see here, I guess there's a few that are not up, but they don't connect to a supply hub. So I'm not too worried about that. I have purposefully not had Königsberg area covered. Let's actually reposition this fleet, put them back on strike force, and we can develop Estrat material. I believe you get this after coal liquefaction, so I missed that. Bringing our MEFO bill total up to, let's see, 55%. Wow. Okay, and there's Danziger War. We're going to race down to around Maginot, 28 days. So I have all my air up, and I have fighters that are on interception around Germany. The trick here is that we have Guderian's Panzers. I'm only using 4 on purpose because they tend to overstack and use up supply otherwise, but you're going to micro these independently. We have the battle plan up, so you will get planning bonus. I'm going to staff office plan them, and the trick is to only push with the Panzers. So I'm going to micro the Panzers around. Because of their breakthrough stat, they will not take as much damage. Therefore, we will not lose as much manpower, and we'll be able to not lose as much equipment either. So that's going to be quite important. Let's see how this goes. I almost forgot. We'll preemptively trade oil with Romania. They only have limited amount of oil, and we'll actually get some oil from the Soviets as well. So we'll declare war there. 3 collab governments. We're going to have a lot of compliance. So at this point, you get the event, the Future of German Rearmament Program. So this will change you to the economy of conquest, which you'll still receive consumer good debuffs, but you're going to be able to get gold reserves. Denmark cancels trade deal, and somewhere along the line, we lost Yalmarschacht when we went probably fate of Czechoslovakia. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Walther Funkt. So that was kind of a miss. So I could have done better had I picked him up earlier. And as you can see, the tanks just fly. I move the infantry along quicker with a Control B, and I'm simply targeting their supply hubs to give them negative amounts of supply while buffing my supply. The Panzers might be out of supply for a bit, but they still do the job in Poland at least. See if we can put up more plane. So we could help this out by attacking with some infantry. Similarly, we could do that over here. Getting Danzig wouldn't be bad. Just micro the infantry forward is usually the best approach. So we make encirclements and then we eat the encirclements. The tanks don't do well in cities. I only attack there sparingly. And I'm in no rush here. We're going to get Poland. It's going to be easy. All right, at this point, I'm going to improve relations with Romania to see if I can't get this subjugate Romanian economy decision. Not quite sure. We can't go Weserübung yet, but we can go Sea Lion or Tannenbaum. I'm going to go ahead for... Actually, I'm going to go ahead for uplift the Rosenberg office so that we can make the Reichskommisseraits. As you can see, we got the Ethiopian volunteers back. So we're going to seize foreign industries. This is going to give us trains, resource gain efficiency, a host of other things. Okay, Poland capitulates. A little slower than normal. I wasn't able to gain air superiority. Some of that might be related to RNG, but I didn't do any deep dives or anything too dangerous. Okay, we've set up a naval invasion against Norway, and then we're ready to claim Denmark as well. Oil's not looking too bad, and all the troops should be moving over. As you can see, we have 100% compliance on Poland. We're able to seize Polish gold reserves, so that puts our debuff down to 64%. We're going to need to seize a lot more gold reserves. And now we can establish Reichskommisseraits in Poland as well as Czechoslovakia. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, now we'll go ahead and declare war on the Netherlands. We did not do collaboration governments here because we could just make them a Reichskommissariat. Again, I'm not attacking with the infantry. The infantry just follows. And it looks like we have a naval invasion. Okay, take the tanks over to the naval invasion. Let's put these troops on a fallback line so that doesn't happen again. I'm not sure where the naval invasion went. We just push with these tanks around the Netherlands. Okay, and they fall very quickly. Again, note that I blocked naval access in these two sea zones right here. And we are going to set up for the Battle of France. Luxembourg is very hard to get into for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm just going to micro the tanks around the coast here. Let's give them a new battle plan, like right there. Oh, almost forgot. Seize Dutch gold reserves. And then we can go ahead and incorporate the Netherlands as a Reichskommisserait. So far, we've only lost 50k manpower, and manpower is holding strong because I'm only microing with the tanks and attacking with infantry sparingly. We're going to go ahead and get the campaign instructions against France. Hopefully this is a quick one. And we'll declare war on Belgium and Luxembourg. The French backstops. We'll take Kukler into Luxembourg. I'll just have him try to battle plan through Luxembourg. And it looks like we have to call to arms our Reichskommisseraits in Belgium so that we can attack through Belgium. Try a double axis of advance here and make sure that it's nice and wide. I'm going to go ahead and battle plan Rommel just to pin these guys along the line. Send one tank to Paris. Hopefully it doesn't get cut off. So a little bit of a dive there. And as you can see, these tanks simply fly. Luxembourg is holding. I might not even attack Luxembourg until later. I just don't know what's going on there. We need to move some of this air support over. So Belgium capitulates. We have Paris. Let's head over to Calais. Let's try to get more green air over France. And there it is. So we could establish Vichy France, but we have 3 collabs on France. So let's go ahead and say, no, Germany will conquer all. We have plenty of political power, but we're going to need it. We'll create a Reichskommissariat in Belgium, so I don't have to occupy there. We get a research facility from France, so I'll just put in another researcher there. And Luxembourg is a pain in the ass.